Hello there, I'm the Biblical Translator, and today's passage is taken from Luke 8, and it's about the birth of Jesus. And we've got some shepherds who are minding their own business, tending to the flocks, and all of a sudden an angel comes to them and tells them about the birth of Jesus, and the Messiah and the Lord is being born. And not only that, after one angel has told them, we've got a host of angels proclaiming, and can you imagine the brightness and how glorious that must be for to know that the birth of Jesus is being announced. Anyway, the shepherds, they go off and they follow the instructions to find Jesus, who's laying in a manger, wrapped in swaddling clothes or linen or whatever they call it these days. And as they're looking at the child and they're talking about, they're going to tell everyone, it says that Mary kept things close to her heart. She didn't say a word. She just kept it in her heart. And what I was thinking about is what's the message here with the shepherds going to see a lady that nobody really knew about, humble beginnings, and she only became infamous because of the virgin birth. But when you think about what the message is, the message for me is how great things can come from humble beginnings. And we see it a lot. We see parents who are born in the ghetto, parents who out of poverty are struggling, and they give birth to children who become professors, who become great, who are so knowledgeable. So not because you are not wealthy, it doesn't mean that you can't bring birth to great things, to miraculous things. And that's what this scripture tells me. I put here, can you imagine the Christ, the Messiah, being born in the womb of a lowly woman, which shows great things can come from humble beginnings. We see it all the time. Women give in the ghetto who have nothing and give birth to famous or talented individuals. It doesn't matter where you come from. People seem to think you need to be bestowed. You need to have a golden spoon in your mouth. Not necessarily. If you know how to use your talents and the talents that God has given to you, or the talents you have been bestowed with. A lot of people, they don't even bother to look for the talents. They don't try to work out what it is they came on this earth to do. They just laze around and, expect things to be given to them on a platter. And that's their destiny, and that's what will happen, and that's how they will die, I guess. But we are all given something that can make us great, regardless of where we're from, regardless of our circumstances, regardless of our background. So the shepherds announced their findings to everyone, while Mary kept all these things in her heart and thought about them often. And I wondered what she was thinking about. Was she thinking about the fact that she had given a miraculous birth? Was she thinking about how did these shepherds know where she was? I mean, what exactly did she keep in her heart that she kept reflecting on? Was it the fact that she was, like I said, she'd given birth to the Son of Man or the Son of God? Can you imagine what privilege that must be? And maybe that's what she was reflecting on. Or maybe she was just reflecting on the virgin birth, how it happened. We don't know. It doesn't really matter. This story tells us how meek and lowly can be blessed with miraculous circumstances. And that was my finding. I'm not going to really belabor the point. All I'd like to say is that be encouraged that regardless of your background, regardless of your humble beginnings, regardless of, the circumstances you're raising your children in, just continue to show them love, and you never know what they're going to turn out to be. I know a lot of our parents, especially back in the day, they used to beat their children and talk about beating sense into them. And some of them, they were just dissatisfied with their children, some complained about their children, and you have different mothers and different strategies to raise a child. But one thing I do know is that reliability, consistency, love, and sensitivity to your child can create greatness. You know, they don't need a lot of money. All they need to know is that you're there. All they need to know is that you support them in their dreams, regardless of how up in the sky their dreams might sound. All children need these days is stability and love. And it will get them so far. We've got so many wayward children and discarded children and disappointed children, children with mental issues, children who are depressed, children who are isolated because their parents don't know how to love them. They don't know how to give them support. They don't know how to support them. Oh, go on Google. Google will give you the answers. Even in rich families, you'll find a lot of children either commit suicide because their parents are just not there for them. They think that by giving them money and telling them to buy whatever they want and sending them to the best schools, they think that's all they need to do. And some of them can withstand it, some can't. Some people can take criticism. Some people are too sensitive. So you can't treat all children the same. You can have 3 children in one family and each one is different. Just because you beat one up and it's grown and he or she has grown into someone, credible, it doesn't mean that it's going to apply to the other 2. So each child is an individual. Each child consistently needs love and needs support and needs care. And I think that we're not taught about how Mary raised Jesus. We don't know whether or not there was a struggle. We do not know whether or not she showed him love, but we do know that because she felt blessed and privileged to give birth to the Son of Man or the Son of God, that she would have taken full care of him and protected him and did whatever she needed to do to keep him safe. And so we know that she would have treated him with love, and she would have supported him in most of what he was doing. So that's all I've got to say with this message. And thank you for listening. Bye-bye.